Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Brendan and welcome back to the Crypto Analyst channel. Now, I hope all of you guys are having a great day no matter where you are from, because there's a lot of bullish things happening across the entire crypto space. But more specifically, the altcoin industry just saw what could be the most bullish news that it has ever seen. Now, if you haven't seen the news yet, the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, who has nearly $10 trillion in assets under management, just filed for an Ethereum ETF. Now, if you remember a couple of months ago, there was all these major traditional finance players like BlackRock and Fidelity and Invesco and Charles Schwab and all these big names that applied for Bitcoin ETFs. And so one of the things that we talked about here was that the next logical step would be for an Ethereum ETF. Not an XRP ETF, not a Solana ETF, not a Cardano ETF, but an Ethereum ETF. It's one of the oldest cryptocurrencies. It's the second most largest crypto in terms of market cap. Ethereum just made the most sense. And so now we're seeing that BlackRock is once again setting the standard and applying for this Ethereum ETF through NASDAQ. So there's a lot of things to unpack here. But I think more interestingly for a lot of us as investors, this is doing wonders to the charts. I mean, just yesterday on the Ethereum chart, Ethereum moved nearly 12.5% to the upside as soon as this news came out, and it's holding value really well. You have other altcoins like Solana that's up 19.5% on today. You also have things like Immutable X that's up almost 18.5%. And then you have a plethora of other altcoins that are up, astronomically as well. So across the board, I mean, even things like Bitcoin were able to hit new yearly highs yesterday. And so Bitcoin peaked just around $38,000. So there's a lot of things happening in the background here. And what I want to do is kind of walk us through all this news and explain what all of this means. So let's kick things off with BlackRock first. Why is BlackRock significant? What does this mean? And how do we actually know that it's true? Well, as I said earlier, BlackRock is the world's largest asset manager on the planet. They have nearly $10 trillion in assets under management. And if we go and we look at what that means and how big that is in comparison to the rest of the crypto market, we need to understand that the entire market cap of every cryptocurrency added together is around $1.4 trillion, which means that this company is roughly like 8 times the size of the entire crypto market all added up together. It's huge. Now, when you're looking at just the size of Bitcoin, which is worth around, around $726 billion, or even the Ethereum market cap, which is around $250 billion, we're talking about a near $10 trillion asset manager that is coming to put their money into something like Ethereum, which is $250 billion. So even if they put just a fraction of a percent, or even just a percent point itself into something like Ethereum, it would drastically impact its price and make it rise towards the upside. And the same way that they could move Bitcoin pretty substantially to the upside as well with a very, very small position of their portfolio. Now, I want to clarify here and say, I don't think that they're going to come in and put 50% of their assets right off the bat into something like Bitcoin or Ethereum. It wouldn't make any sense. It's very unlikely that they would even do that for any kind of traditional asset, let alone a cryptocurrency. So I think what we can expect here is either maybe a few percent of their portfolio to a fraction of a percent of their portfolio. But regardless of that, right off the rip, they are very clearly interested in these products, or else they wouldn't be doing this in the first place. And we're seeing that they have this deep interest in this long-term kind of goal of participating in the crypto space, or else they wouldn't be sending over an Ethereum ETF. In fact, I think that this is so much more bullish than people are perceiving it to be, because in the traditional way of doing things, they would test the waters with their Bitcoin ETF first. They'd see, is there demand for it? Is this generating us money? Do we think that this is going to be something that works out long term? And then they test this for maybe 6 to 12 months before doing something like getting it into an Ethereum ETF. What we're seeing here is they're skipping that entire step. They're saying, hey, we know that we've just filed for a Bitcoin ETF and it hasn't even been approved yet, but we're going to go ahead and double down and bet on an Ethereum ETF on top of that. And so again, these are the people who set the standard for everyone else. Since they are the largest asset manager, one of the most biggest and most influential companies on the earth today, they set the golden standard for what happens in the financial space of not only the States, but the world. And so we have to understand, again, just the sheer size of what BlackRock is doing and why they're doing it behind the scenes. And so we can see from filings like this one, it's just saying that, hey, they are dead on looking into this. And there's plenty of articles that are floating around out there if you want to read into it just a little bit more. So let's go back to the charts for a second and say, like, hey, like, what is happening here? Well, again, we see Bitcoin here hitting new yearly highs. Ethereum is actually at its highest point that we've seen since April of 2023. And if it goes any higher, it'll put it at the highest point that we've seen since May of 2022. So there's a lot of really positive things happening on that end. And of course, the altcoin market is now just soaring. And I think what we're seeing is we're seeing some of these other larger cryptocurrencies move up a lot because it's kind of the question of who is next. You know, is the next ETF going to be something like Solana? And then on top of that, we have all these different fundamental news events that are happening, and cryptocurrencies are just soaring to the upside, one after another after another. And so there's a lot of positive sentiment about the space. And one of the questions I was asked yesterday was, you know, like, how do we stay in touch with everything that's going on? And so I think a great segue of this is that we're actually hosting a crypto hedge fund summit. It's free to attend, and all you have to do is go into the link in the description down below. No strings attached. You don't have to pay for it or anything. All you have to do is sign up to reserve your slot. So if you go into the link in the description down below, you're going to see a plug for the Crypto Hedge Fund Summit. You're going to want to go there, sign up, click on it. And we are interviewing, I think, almost 20 different leaders from the space. So you're going to want to be there because they essentially just share their direct insights into what's happening into all their respective genres. Some of these people are leading hedge funds. Other of these are leading different kinds of projects in the crypto space. Other of these people that we're having on are like regulatory leaders. And so they share a lot of insights into what is happening in the background and why there's this new peak in interest and like what different areas of crypto are actually seeing the most activity. So there's a lot of really cool things that are going to happen there. Again, it's free. If you want to go kind of sign up for it, then just check in the link in the description down below. And we'll see you all over there because I'm actually one of the people that are hosting these interviews in the first place. So you get to see me ask all the hard question to these leaders in the space, and we get to get some cool answers. But that's going to actually round us off for today's video, everyone. So with that being said, I think the only way to kind of end a video like this one is say, I'm bullish and I'm really excited for what's going to happen in the coming months here. Now, we know that this last quarter of crypto is historically a really bullish one, and we left October straight into, I don't know what kind of acronym we have for November, but it's a bullish one. But we went straight from October into an even more bullish November, and so it kind of gets the brains turning what's going to happen in the month of December, and ultimately what's going to happen after an ETF approval happens for not only Bitcoin, but now Ethereum, and then also what's going to happen when the halving happens. I mean, there's so many things to still look forward to. So if you want to stay in touch with everything that's happening and you like the content that we make, all that we ask is that you consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And with that being said, we'll see all of you in the next video and hopefully at the Hedge Fund Summit next Wednesday and Thursday.